Hey, everybody, I'm Nancy from American Pet Professionals. Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to another live episode of Digging into the Pet Industry. We are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube as well. So, wherever you're watching from, thank you so much for watching. And if you're listening to a future podcast episode of this show, thank you for listening. So today we have APP member Kristina Robertson of Barkley Square. Kristina, welcome. So happy to see you.
Nancy, thank you so much. I consider it such an honor that you all asked me to be on the show today. So I'm really excited to be here.
Well, I'm so excited to have you. And I think I saw a snoot. Is there a puppy dog there?
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
Sorry, my security blankets, like they're
no, it's good. It's
spread out on my legs here. So anyway,
it's good. I love it. I love it. You know, this is the pet industry, and we are talking about pets and what your career is. So we love when we have pets and dogs and cats crawling across the screen. It's all good.
Okay, good.
All right, so we're going to dig right in. I wanted to kind of start a little bit in the background of how you got started, what drew you to the pet industry. So kind of start wherever you want, but I'm really curious though, what drew you to the pet industry and when you got started.
Okay, so we'll have to go way back, 32 years to be exact, which I didn't really think about it until I was preparing for today. And I was like, holy cow, like, but you know, when you love what you do, it just goes so fast, right?
Yeah, it flies by.
So I was in management at a grocery food chain called Safeway. Okay. And at a young age, it was like early 20s, and I just was miserable. And I went to my dad and I'm like, I'm miserable. I'm young and I've got all these people I'm trying to, do what they're supposed to be doing. They're, twice my age. And I said, I go into work every day and I just don't like it. And my dad said, life is too short to do what you don't like. What do you like? And I said, animals. Came right out of my mouth. And he was like, okay, so do something with animals. And I'm like, okay. So I tried the vet route, which I think a lot of us go that route.
Yeah.
You just vet,
What else was there then, right?
Right. Yeah. This is like way back when the wheels were like still square or something. But, I tried the vet route. I got pretty far into it until it was like practical time. And I was a blubbering idiot. Every time somebody brought a dog in that was hurt, I couldn't deal with it. It broke me too much. And my instructor said, you need to find another profession because unfortunately we see more, sadness than happiness here.
Oh,
so
yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So, so kind of fast forward a little bit, I wasn't sure. And in the 80s, or late 80s, early 90s, pet sitting wasn't really a thing. It was kind of like, I asked my neighbor, I asked my friend, put a whole bunch of cat food out and hopefully the cats will be okay. So when I was in the vet thing, which really did help me because I would see all these beautiful animals come in and just be in cages all day long until we could get to them. They would, pee themselves. Some of them would get sick, just all kinds of stuff would happen back then. Because, the vet's job was to take care of the animals coming in.
Right.
So I started thinking about that. I'm like, well, what if they didn't have to do that? What if I could go to their house and let them out and go to the bathroom and stuff? So that's where it began. And
wow.
So 32 years later, we're still doing that. It's ebbed and flowed for sure, with recessions and then just all the things that's happened through those years. So I got really big at one point, got really small at one point, and now we're kind of like more of a boutique pet sitting,
Yeah.
So I've been able to fine tune it and really bring it into where it can be managed, and I like it,
It's incredible. Just the fact that one of my questions was, were there a lot of pet sitters when you started? Because there probably weren't. And if there were they actual businesses? Did people even think of it as a business? So you kind of like paved a path as you were going, correct?
Yeah, really, I did. I was one of the few firsts, that made it legitimate. We got our LLC, got it going, and yeah, the first year I was able to. My dog then Trooper and myself, he was my little sidekick, and we would go to people's houses. This was just pet sitting, no
Yeah.
dog walking. We
Okay.
just pet sit. So dog walking hadn't really entered the world yet, really. And it was just people going out of town, or folks that are stuck at work and, oh my gosh, or stuck in traffic, and my dog's, doing a dance in the crate. Can you go take him out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it, as it happens in any industry, they continue to grow and find new things. And so then dog walking became a big part. And so then, the more things that we added on, obviously more people that we had to have. And so, I mean, I got into dog poop scooping one time, for a while.
Yeah. You try to add in extra services, right, to all of that. Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, and from that, while I was still a professional pet sitter and having that business, customers kept saying, why don't you open a store? I would leave little baked goods for the dogs and little things that I would just do on my own. And they were like, you're in Alexandria, you're in Old Town, we need a store, we need a store. And I guess I've always kind of been the boutique mindset, though I don't live boutique-y, but I really like it. And so I opened up Barkley Square, and we were in the little square down in Old Town by the water. So
what year was that?
That was in 2003.
Okay.
2003. I had just gotten married. Literally, we had just gotten married, just moved into my husband's little townhome in Old Town with 7 animals, which quickly we had to get out of there. We didn't and then bought this business. So it was kind of crazy, but it was so exciting. So I got to, learn retail, do retail. I got to do my baking, and that was just so exciting to do all of that.
Can I ask you, how long was that business from in Old Town, from 2003 till when?
To 2007.
Okay.
3, 5, 6, 7, going on 2008. Then the business place we were renting got sold. And then we moved, still in Alexandria, but a little area called Del Rey, Alexandria. And we're there till 2012. And same thing happened. I was renting, and they sold they called it lots or something. So at that point, people were asking me about grooming because, they're like, you do dog walking and retail, we all trust you. Why don't you
grooming?
So it's kind of that thing, really listen to your clients. They have a lot to say that can really benefit you. So, so now here I am, owning own a dog grooming business, which is just a bunch of fun. And I'm loving it because I'm learning. I'm not a groomer. I'm actually studying kind of a higher education on skin and coat as a pet esthetician. So soon I'll be getting my diploma. So I'm really excited about that.
I just wanted to backtrack really quickly. I was in your store when you were in Old Town before we met.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy? As soon as you said the corner by the water, I had a total flashback to because my friend lived in Alexandria, and I would go visit her, and now she's in Burke, but I would go visit her all the time. And we were walking around Old Town once, and I said, she said to me, there's a really cute pet store here. And I remember exactly where you were. So it's so funny that you were probably there. Maybe we met, we didn't know each other.
Yeah. And here we are years later.
Isn't that so funny? So, okay. So I want to know about, you're not a groomer, but you're going to school you have groomers that offer grooming services at Barkley Square. You still do the pet sitting. And you're going to school to be an esthetician. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's so exciting. It's, whenever I think the easiest way for me to kind of put it together is when you think of grooming, what's the first thing you think about? You think of just doing a cute cut on a dog, right? So the pet esthetician work is totally different than that. So when they come into the spa right now, we're not just looking at a dog to do a cute cut. We're looking at their coat and their skin, which you can't do a good groom or proper groom unless you know what's going on with their skin and coat. And so the work that I'm learning to do and actually working with clients right now is they come in and we ask a lot of questions about like their pup and their cat. So if they've got hot spots, lesions, oozing moles, hair loss, itchy skin, flaky skin, just dandruff in general, it's more than okay. So we need to treat that first. So let's treat that. And it's not, I'm not a vet by any means. It's not at all what I do, but it's treating them naturally with different minerals and oils and learning about the coat, which is, short coated dogs, they need a lot of oil. Who's thinking put oil on your dog? Medium coat dogs need minerals. And so it's actually treating it's finding out what their little skin needs so that they can have a plush, nourishing coat.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting when you get a dog that comes in and they're like, oh, he's full of allergies. And and I ask, well, can I do a treatment on them for, allergies? And
right.
90%, this was from my educator, Michelle Knowles. Scientifically, it's been proven that 90% of all dogs diagnosed with allergies, it's usually dry skin. And so people are giving allergy shots and changing food and baths every week, and they don't need it, So I'm trying to educate, and as I learn, I'm teaching. So
yeah, that's really great. You're kind of taking more of a holistic approach to their skin issues versus, trying to figure it out first versus putting a Band-Aid on it. Because a lot of solutions are Band-Aids and not getting to the root of the cause.
And certainly we clean their pets and make them look adorable and they're all nice and clean. But there's just so much more to that can be done. And so that's what I'm trying to do.
I love that. That's incredible. And, you probably have people that if it's a first time person and they're like, my dog has, these skin issues. And then after you're treating them and their dog is completely changing, they're probably like blown away. Right.
Yeah. And in fact, I didn't know if I have the time, but I wanted to talk about this little poodle who was walking on her tippy toes all the time. And the mom just thought that was the cutest thing. New client. And so I was like, oh, she walks on her tippy toes. She's like, isn't that the cutest thing? And so it was cute. It was cute. And then when we saw the pads of the little dog's feet, that's why she was tippy toeing. She was a senior one thing, but her little pads were just dried and cracked and like they were oozing. But, again, just because you love your pet and all this, you're not looking at all of its body parts. Right. Do you know what I mean? So there's no blame on her. It was just, she thought this was something cute, but he couldn't put it hurt to put his little paws down. Yeah. I asked her very kindly, I said, I'm doing this new paw treatment, and I said, I'd love to give him a foot soak and put some salve and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, sure, he's old and he probably would appreciate that. He came out, he ran to the mom and she was like, where's his tippy toes? But she didn't know. But that was so rewarding. And that was just one time, but it's just like us, when in the winter, when our hands are dry and cracked and you put that lotion on and, I don't know, I Vaseline at night and in the morning, like they're all okay,
Yeah.
That concept, but
yes.
So it's really rewarding. And you're right. They're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's such an important piece of your role as a pet business owner in educating pet parents because, a lot, like you said, a lot of times pet parents don't notice things, but a pet sitter, a groomer are going to notice things quicker because they have their hands on the pet, maybe more often. And it's nothing against the pet parent. It's just kind of the way it is, Yeah. I did pet sitting years ago and I found, on one of the dogs that I was taking care of, just petting it and brushing it. I was like, oh, he's got a tumor on him. And, ended up bringing it to the vet and everything. And the owner didn't notice because she wasn't around the dog as much. And again, it was no fault of her own. It was just she didn't notice because she wasn't there as much. So,
right. Wow.
It's really interesting that you brought that up. It's a really good point. So, in being a business owner and having that importance to you, what else would you say is really important about being a pet business owner when it comes terms to helping pet parents and their pets, of course?
Well, I guess two things come to mind is one, in thinking about my industry, giving the owners what they're asking for, what they're coming in for. And a lot of times our job is to give them what they don't really realize that they're looking for.
Yep.
Pet parent doesn't really know. And they might say, I want this cut or that cut. And you're looking at the breed and it really can't be done, but they heard it or they saw it on a TikTok or something and
Yeah.
bring it in. So I think as a business owner, like, helping your clients that come in, like educating them, I guess could be a good word. Cause I kind of think of education all around.
Yeah.
But as an owner, you do want to hear your clients, you want to listen to them and respect them and realize that they're coming to you because you're the professional, but not
Right.
to treat them like they're idiots or they don't know what they're doing. It's like, I almost have compassion when they don't really understand what needs to happen or what needs to do. So as an owner, I feel like I've been given that responsibility to do that. And then, educating in general, like, once you know something is right or the right way to do something, then, it's kind of like the right thing to do to tell others,
Yeah.
and in this industry of grooming, it's really taken a revolution. It's changing, it's finally becoming a business and not clarified as such a hobby,
Yeah.
and things
It's
that
a huge business. Yeah.
and things that the groomers did 20 and 30 years ago, it doesn't fly anymore, so we have to, continue to learn, continue to listen to science and what is best for the pets, like, for instance, hair plucking, ear plucking for the dogs. I mean, that used to, they get in there with the hemostat and roll it up and pull it out. And that's just what we did for years.
Yeah.
But now science tells us when you do that, and you yank the hair out, that you're opening up all these little microscopic tears. And then the dog gets an ear infection and the groomer gets blamed because, like, oh, I didn't have one when he went in and now he's got an ear infection. But so you learn. So as an owner, you want to learn about your profession the best you can and then teach.
Yeah, I love that. And I also love that you said, speaking to your pet parent customers, they are your customers with compassion. Because, unfortunately, I've seen in a lot of chats and groups and stuff that aren't so kind coming from the groomers, over the years. It's getting better. And I'm always like, maybe you shouldn't say that, like, I get it, it's a tough job. I totally get it. We have grooming members. I've worked with groomers over I don't, it's backbreaking work. But I love that you said that because a lot of times people just don't know, they just don't know. And especially the last couple of years of people getting dogs during the pandemic, being new pet parents, getting overwhelmed with so much information that they see on social media and maybe not having that clear cut path. So I really appreciate that, you offer that compassion and education for your customers. It's really important.
Thank you. Yeah, the baby, we'll call them like the COVID baby boomers, but
Right.
it's unbelievable how many people walk into the spa and say, I've never had a dog before, but in COVID, we just did what everybody was doing and like have no idea what to do with them. So it is very rewarding to be able to say, it's okay, don't panic. Here's what we do. And we can actually help them. So
yeah, I love that. I really love that. That's so awesome because just takes a little bit of kindness, right? Just a little kindness. And guess what? They're going to be talking about your business and saying, we went to Barkley Square or we went to this groomer and they did this for our dog. And then that word of mouth, right? It just a snowball effect happens and people will start recommending you and all that. It's really cool. So in that kind of context, what else do you do at Barkley Square that might be a little bit different than similar, pet businesses?
Well, I know one of the things we do is we are cage free, which that's always interesting. We don't we don't let them run around, but we do by appointment only. So, the dogs come in for their appointment, like we go in for our hairstylist. Come in, they go in from start to finish, and then we call the client, and their clients are there to take the dog as they're coming off the table. So that makes it a little bit different. Of course, that takes a lot of work, but
Yeah.
the customer really likes that their dogs don't have to stay for hours and
In a cage. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
and we're
great.
not letting them run around, because that can cause a whole nother series of problems. So that was really important for me, to be cage free and really do it the right way. So that's something different that we do. And we also have a introduction to grooming for the puppies, and that has really taken off.
Oh, that's so great.
Because it's kind of their first experience.
Yeah.
If it's not positive, it's a
Yeah.
lot of just so that has been. And so now what we're finding too, Nancy, is rescue dogs that are older than puppies, never been groomed before, and they don't know. So now that the starting of the puppy training is now kind of just, we're going to generalizing, like if your dog has never been to the groomer or it has fear, we can work with them, and they buy a little program, and we work with them starting like 15 minutes for one visit. And so that, I think maybe that's a little different than some.
Yeah, that is so amazing. That must be so much fun too, whether it's a puppy or a senior dog that's a rescue, right?
Yeah.
Because you get to see. First of all, I love the puppy stage. I know a lot of people don't like it. I absolutely love the puppy stage. I think it's so much fun watching them learn. The light bulbs go off, all of the things. So like having those new experiences, it just must be so much fun to be
Amazing.
part of and participate in, and fun for you guys, fun for the parents, fun for the dog to learn. It's really great. I love that you do that.
Thank you. It is fun. It is so much fun, and especially to watch them come around, for being afraid and being able to be okay with stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this. I know you have a lot of yourself personally certifications, like I saw Fear Free, First Aid, etc. Why is that so important to have those certifications for you?
that's a great question. For myself, I wanted to do them so that I could be as knowledgeable as I can,
Mhm.
and there's so much to learn. There's so many things in the animal world to learn. I think for me, because I love helping, I want to do that with the pets. And then I think for the clients, they want to see, I think it helps them to know, like, hey, this person kind of knows what she's talking about. Here she's got a diploma in this, or she's been certified in this. And so I think it just helps kind of your credibility possibly for the
Yeah.
client, and I've got some cute ones. Like I've got a bather certificate. Like I actually learned how to bathe a dog, and customers think that's hysterical.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
learn how to bathe a dog? Don't you just throw it in the tub? But sometimes they're good conversation pieces.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cute. No, but I think that's great to have those certifications for your own education, and it does lend that credibility, especially having like pet first aid and CPR that could come in, at
Oh,
any,
absolutely.
even something minor, right? It could just be like something super minor that, you need to address while the dog is there. So that's really fantastic. So, what is the most rewarding part of being in the industry and owning your pet business, would you say?
Most rewarding. Well, I love being a woman and owning a business. That is awesome sauce for me.
Yay!
Yeah. Um, and I think, you feel like you're paving the way. I mean, obviously I'm up there in age, and I think it's so exciting to know I start where I started and where I am now, so that what I've learned that I can, pass on and teach others. I just think that the things that you learn along the way are just invaluable. And it's definitely not an easy road oftentimes. I
Yeah.
mean, COVID really knocked us out, and
Mm.
um, just different things happen. And, being the owner, you get to decide what happens next, so I think
Mhm.
that's really a very fun part of being your own business person. You get
Yeah.
to decide yes, no.
Exactly. That is one of the perks for sure.
Yeah,
And you pave your own path, and as you keep going, right, you can look to the future and say, "Well, I've done this, that didn't work, and let's
right.
try this," right, and see if that works. So, it's kind of a fun area to be. What advice would you give somebody that is going to be either a pet sitter and or groomer that's just starting out in the industry?
Um, find find people that have walked before you, that have had experience, that is willing to have the mentality is there's enough pets in this world that we
Yeah.
can all share,
Yes.
and learn from them, pick their brains. The internet is really wonderful for that. Any new groomer or pet sitter wanting to be, getting in, can do a really quick Google search in their area and find some pet professionals.
Yeah.
And there's so many of us that would love to share our knowledge, and then find yourself a good organization to connect with,
Yeah.
and someone like, the All American Pet Professionals. I mean, what a gold mine you've created here for people to come in. There's every walk of life for animals, anything.
Well,
It's
thank you.
right. So pointing these folks into quality businesses and things that are online for them to do, not just watching TikTok and YouTube videos. See, they really
Yeah.
need to get, yeah, that's
And
what
apprentice with somebody, right? I think that's important too. There's so many great organizations for grooming, for pet sitting, and we have all members, but I feel like if you're really super focused, there's those organizations as well that are really wonderful.
right.
So I think that's really great advice. What about if you have a pet parent watching and like your baby boomer or COVID boomer puppies, and they're thinking like, I want to hire a pet sitter or I want to hire a groomer, what advice would you give them to look for when they're seeking out that pet professional?
Okay. For a pet sitter, well, actually, for both business or both jobs, I guess that they can ask whatever question they need to ask and be able to, in the grooming facility, they should be able to walk through a grooming facility. They should never be stopped to not go past like just reception. That's
Yeah.
always a red flag. They should be
Mhm.
able to, or at least see. Maybe they can't walk in, because I know there's some places that won't because of legal issues. If they got hurt, they should be able to open doors and see where their pet's going to go. For the pet sitting, the same. A pet sitter should be willing to come to your house first, meet your dog first, get on their website and make sure that they've got credentials and that they are licensed and bonded. That's huge.
Yeah.
So make sure they're just not somebody hanging a shingle and say, I can walk a dog.
Yeah.
Because
That's
there's
great.
so much more involved, especially for legality reasons, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And we've all heard the scary stories from, dogs getting lost and stuff like that. So that's really, really good advice, making sure that they're bonded and insured. And, maybe even that they have some training, right? Walking a dog, because you're
right,
not just walking a dog, in my opinion, you are having not just somebody's family member, but that dog could have certain, reactions to a leaf blowing, right? It could be,
absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know, something like that. So I really appreciate that advice for pet parent watching. It's really important. So what is the future of Barkley Square and the spa and everything that you do? What's going on next?
Well, what's going on next is I want to get that diploma for my skin and coat, and then I want to be able to really turn that up, if you will, at the spa, and teach more of my the staff about doing that. And we're going to be starting a school, a grooming school.
Oh,
So
wow.
we can, I want to breed better groomers. I want
That's
them to not,
fantastic.
yeah. And my mantra is going to be more about teaching them, kind of, the groomers have like a code of ethics, and it's more than just a cute cut. Like we kind of talked about,
Yeah.
respecting the client, respecting the pet. So they'll learn how to groom. They'll learn about the skin and coat for sure, but they're also going to need to know how to treat these pets, right? Because we do the unnatural to them. They come into our spa and we're doing what is not at all natural for them. They'd rather roll around and poop and stink
Right.
up.
Instead
So,
of getting a nice haircut.
yeah, so a groomer has to have much more knowledge than just how to do a cute cut.
Yeah, that's really great. So when are you hoping to open the school?
Or hopefully in the next 2 years.
Wow, that's really exciting. Well, good luck and congratulations on that. I didn't know that you were doing that. So, breaking news.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. So, where is your actual location? I think you said it before, but where is your actual location? Are you in Falls Church? Where in Virginia are you?
Yep, we're in Falls Church, a
Okay.
little city of Falls Church, Virginia.
Okay, awesome. So people that are in the Virginia, DC,
Yep.
Maryland, like all those areas, they should be checking you out for
Check it out.
sure.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you would like to add? Something coming up or anything new besides what you just told us?
I think you did great. You asked me a lot of fabulous questions.
I did my homework, Kristina.
Yes, I can definitely tell you did. I think just stay tuned with our website and our Instagram because we are making changes. Again, as I grow, I know, and I want to teach. So things that we're learning about the best care for the dogs and cats, we'll be putting out there. And don't forget, we've started grooming rabbits. So that's our new little thing.
What? Wait a minute. We can't go until you tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, myself and another one of my groomers took a rabbit class, and yeah, who knew you could groom rabbits? But it's a big industry, and not a lot of folks, one, know that you should be grooming rabbits, and two, have anyone to groom the rabbits other than the vets that kind of just cut their nails. So yeah, rabbits have to be combed and brushed, and nails and ears, and they've got, their back end has to be taken care of.
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow, I did not know that. I know some of the rabbits have longer hair too, so makes sense.
And they get matted and
yeah. What about parrots and birds? Do you do nail trims or clipping of wings?
We do have a groomer that can do that, but we don't do it.
Okay. You never know what's going to show up at your store.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Awesome.
I love those calls.
I love the rabbit grooming. That is a first, I believe, that I've heard somebody doing rabbit grooming.
Excited about that.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time to be on our show today and letting us know everything that you do. We have put all the links for Barkley Square in the comment section. So wherever you're watching from, you can go and check out Kristina and Barkley Square and learn more about her business.
Thank you so much, Nancy. This was so much fun.
It was fun, Kristina. Thank you for being here. And for everybody watching, I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. Hope to see you soon in person, Kristina.
Yes.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye now.